Thank you for tuning in for the third and last lesson in the series. I promised you that I will send you a third lesson in the previous lesson. I said I will send you a third lesson in 2 days. I'm happy I've been able to do it and send to you. So here we are in the third lesson. I want to talk about developing your intellectual property, starting with a book. Remember, in the previous 2 lessons, I mentioned that you needed to develop a product. You needed to develop your intellectual property. Because without intellectual property, you will not have credibility and gravitas. So it is very, very critical as you are starting out for people to start asking, who is that guy? You say, oh, he's the author of, he's the author of that, he's the author of that. People like Ryan Holiday, they have so many books. Ryan Holiday, perennial seller. He has about 7 books. Gary Vaynerchuk. He has so many books. And this happens to be one of my books. I've written 7 books. So it is very, very critical that you have intellectual property. One of your most important intellectual properties is a book. So you must have a book, and it's easy to produce a book. That is why I want to share with you why you should write a book. So let's jump to the 7 steps you need to do. I've written 7 books, as I mentioned to you, and I wrote my first book just as I was working. In fact, 4 of the books I've written, I wrote them while still working full time. Yes, some people stay back in the office for traffic, especially if you are in a big town like where there's a lot of go slow and waste of time in the traffic. You can decide to stay back after work, and what are you doing? Some people watch Netflix, some people watch and so on and so forth, watch EPL, the English Professional League. Some people watch La Liga, and so on and so forth, Barcelona, and so on and so forth. So Barcelona is not everything. Real Madrid is not everything. Manchester United, Chelsea, and so Arsenal, they are not everything. So spend your time wisely. So let's look at the 7 steps you need to take to writing your book. The 7 simple steps to writing your book. Because book is one of the most, it's the simplest. Of course, it's difficult to write a book, but it's also the simplest to accomplish. You will not be able to develop a SaaS, that is software as a service. You will not be able to develop an app. Those are all intellectual properties. You won't be able to develop an app unless you are excellent in coding. You know how to code. But most of us, book is the right thing that we should start with. You can also talk about book is also a long one. You can convert your book to an ebook. All right, as a digital product. So it's critical you start with a book, since most of us don't know how to do coding. We say, okay, let's go for SaaS, because SaaS is apps. They're very, very profitable. You can do an app and you can sell. People can download your app in thousands. All right. So since we are not gifted in that direction, let's just look at what we can do magically, can do easily, that comes easily. Okay. The first thing is for you to decide what you wish to write on. Do you want to write a fiction? Do you want to write a non-fiction? Do you want to write a children's book? Or do you want to write whatever? Maybe a guide, whatever. So first and foremost, the first thing is to decide what you want to write on. Because when you decide, you can now start to do some other things that will push this thing forward. Because if you do not decide, then you are going to be buffeted in different directions. Just decide, I want to write ABC, and then decide the title and subtitle. What will be the title and subtitle? Some people say your title and subtitle will just jump out from the book after you finish writing. I don't believe in that. I decide my title, whatever I write, must reflect the title, must reflect the subtitle of my book. It's not after I reach the end of the book, now I start seeing something jumping out from the book. I see some gurus describe that. I mean, suggest that you do not write the title and subtitle until you write the book to the end. How do you? So what will be your compass? What will be their guiding principle? That if you write a book without a title, so decide the title and subtitle. Number 3, step 3 is to brainstorm the outline of your book. Brainstorm. Having decided what you want to write, you have the title and then the subtitle. What will be the content of your book? Is that content that we are trying to arrive at by brainstorming? Assuming that you want to write, let me say, you want to write a book. You look at the title, you look at the subtitle, you look at the designers, you look at the publishers, you look at ghostwriting, you look at editors, you look at everything, the cover design, you look at everything that will make your book from A to Z to become a ready book. So those are the things that you are brainstorming will bring out. So you have to brainstorm everything about the subject matter. Who has written on it before? Who other authors? What was their approach? And where did they come from? What was the era? And so on and so forth. So these are all the things. Bring out everything that impinges on the book. Those are the things that is called to brainstorm, to now have a book outline. And then, having had the book outline, you now put together similar categorize similar ideas in different buckets, and then you have your outline out. And then from that outline, you now have your different topics, your chapters. Okay, so that will be the content of your book, because a book is made up of chapters, okay, and sub chapters or parts, and so on and so forth. So you brainstorm the outline, which takes us to step 4. That will be the content. Decide the content. So that content is from your brainstorming that you will now get the content, which you will now break into chapters and parts. Okay, so step 5, now decide who will write the book. A lot of people get scared about books. Say, oh, Paul, I don't know how to write. I run as I mentioned to you in my first lesson, that I run a platform called Book Writing Clinic. And so far, more than 150 people have attended Book Writing Clinic. And so it's a very, very enjoyable class. So some people say, oh, Paul, I don't know how to write. I was not good in English when I'm a mathematician. I'm good in maths. But when it comes to writing, no. The long and short of it is that you don't have to write your book by yourself. You can get a third party. We have what we call ghost writers. You can just write. We have people that call editors. You can just write. So long as you have an outline, let me say you have an outline. In your outline, there are 7 chapters. I advise my students they should not have more than 7 chapters. Assuming that each chapter is, you write 30 pages, 30 type pages, and times 7. 7 times 3. So 7 chapters. Each of them is 30 pages. You know that you have written a page of more than, I mean, a book of more than 100 pages. And you are good to go. All right. So you don't have to write your book by yourself. If you're really scared, Paul, book writing is not for me. I say it's for you. Only that look for somebody that can write it for you, a ghostwriter. So everybody can actually write a book. The ghostwriter just would be capturing your mind, capturing your words because you have brainstormed the outline. So it will just follow the outline and write, and then give it to you to read. Does it reflect what you thought? And then you'll be going back and forth until you have come out with your book. Then decide, write, proofread, and edit your book. So writing is one thing, and then packaging the book to really bring it out and make it beautiful is another thing. I know that this is my book. I had this book in my drawer for more than almost 5 years. I was discouraged. I said, maybe nobody will be interested in this book. Nobody. Who should be interested in this type of book? It was just my ideas. I even showed it to 2 of my friends. He said, Paul, it's not it. But when I took this book to Canada, and some editors of Author House saw this book, he said it was one of the best books they've read on customer service. And this book has sold more than 5,000 copies so far. So that's, I mean, in Nigeria, I don't know how much because I've not been worrying them on my royalty. So I don't know how many it's sold on Amazon. It's sold all over the world. It's sold on Amazon. It's sold on Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, and so on and so forth. So you have brainstormed, you have decided who will write, and then write. Then somebody will proofread. There are 3 levels of editing your book. 3 levels: proofreading, looking at the typos, and then the content editing. And then your book is good to go. And then publish and release your book to the world. Then there's another step which we are not even talking about here. There's the marketing step. The marketing is in a class of its own, because as I tell my students, writing a book is one thing, but marketing it, making your book available to people all over the world, is another thing. So marketing is in a class of its own. What we are after here is that your book is out. Okay, then we'll take it the next step in the marketing. Your book is going to be sold on Amazon. Uploading a book to Amazon is very, very simple. Very, very simple. I know some of my students come to book writing clinic and say, the reason I came to book writing clinic is because I want to upload my book to Amazon. Some people ask me to pay them 20,000, 40,000 to release my book to Amazon, but that is not releasing a book to, uploading a book to Amazon is like a piece of cake. It can be, in fact, you should not pay anybody to do that. Just look for a friend and you can upload. So marketing a book is quite different. So our focus now is simply for you to have your book out there, that yes, my book is out, your book is out. So yes, I am an author. If you publish it with Author House will send you a congratulatory message. Congratulations, you are now an author. Your book is live on social place. We talked about the 7 steps to writing your book or developing your intellectual property. In the next 2 days, I will send you a special offer on how to join IBMC so that you can start your journey to developing your expert empire. Thank you and bye for now.